Good morning, everyone. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Let's wait 5 more minutes for the other students. Please type the word present on the chat box. Please, in 2 minutes, we start the class. Please, everyone write the word present on the chat box. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Today is Saturday, 6th February 2021. Well, guys, we continue working on the conditionals. For today's class, we're going to study two more conditionals. First and second conditional. Let me refresh your mind. The last class, the last Saturday, we started working on conditionals. Last class, we studied about the zero conditional. Today, let's continue with the two more conditional. As I said, in this module, in the module number 4, it is included the three different conditionals. Zero, first, and second conditional. So give me a minute to share my screen to start the class. Well, guys, as I said, in the model number 4, in this one, the last one, it is included the three different conditionals. Zero, first, and second conditional. The last week, we started working on the zero conditional. Today, guys, I'm going to refresh your mind about the structure of those conditional. Please try to understand. From the previous class, we said or we understood the difference between the words if and yes. So we said the word if we use mainly for conditionals, and the word yes is for affirmations. Okay? Yes conditional, yes for affirmation. We also studied that any conditional has two different clauses. Two clauses. Both clauses are separated. Two clauses are separated by this symbol. Okay? Two clauses are separated by the symbol comma. In other words, these two lines represent the two clauses. Clause number one and clause number two. You see? Clause number one, clause number two. This clause number one and let me get another color for this one. There you go. Okay, the clause in yellow color is called main clause. Or conditional, sorry, conditional. Come on. There we go. And the other one is called cool. Okay, so that is what I'm talking about. Two different clauses separated by that symbol, comma. You see, one, two clauses. You see, two clauses. The conditional, which have the word if, it's called conditional clause. The other one is called main clause. Zero conditional. Anyone's remember the use of the zero conditional? Anyone's remember the use of the zero conditional, guys? Come on, guys, don't let me down. Who's remember who's remembered the use of the zero conditional? The use means the definition. Come on, tell me.
If más present simple más. If más present simple.
Okay, so that is its structure. That's correct, but that is the form. That's the form. The form, it means the structure. Form is the structure. That's correct, means. Form is present simple in the clause number one, and the other clause, the same thing. That's correct. That's the form, present simple and present simple. Perfect. But what about the use? talk about what? Okay, let me refresh your mind. The zero conditional they use to talk about real facts or something that is always true. Real facts. In other words, it's like scientific facts or something that is always true. Can you give me an example of the zero conditional? Anyone, come on, give me an example of the zero conditional. Don't let me down. Give me an example. No one, please. Okay, so no participation. That's good for you. Well, once again, let me refresh your mind. This is an example that I wrote the previous class. This is the zero conditional, real fat or scientific fat. If you mix red and yellow, you get orange. If you heat water, it boils. If you drop an egg, it breaks. So these are three examples about the zero conditionals. Used to talk about real fat or something that is always true. The three examples are actually real fat. Might be considered scientific, but I think they're real fat. If you mix red and yellow, so you get orange. You heat water, it boils. You drop an egg, it breaks. This is the zero conditional. As you say, means the form is present simple and present simple. That's correct. No doubt about that. Okay, used to talk about real fat or something that is always true. Form, present simple and present simple. This is present simple. Mix, get, heat, boils, drop, breaks. That is present simple. Zero conditional. Give me a minute. We're going to practice the activity number 1 about the zero conditional. Don't go anywhere. Please stay where you are. Just give it one single minute. Here we go. Okay, so let's practice once again the zero conditional. What are you going to do, guys? So listen carefully. I want you to match two different columns. I want you to match them up. For example, remember, in the zero conditional, we need to have two different clauses. Two different clauses. Conditional and the main clause. This is the zero conditional structure. As you can see, there is an example for you. Look. Number one, if I'm late for class. If I'm late for class. Si llego tarde a clases. My teacher gets angry. You see? If I'm late for class, my teacher gets angry. Here we have the two clauses, action and the consequence. Number two, when he stay up very late, stay up means desvelarse, quedarse hasta muy tarde, por la noche. When he stay up very late, then you look for a good clause for that conditional clause. What could be a good one? So that is your task, to look for a correct clause for when he stay up very late. 3, people get hungry. A las personas les da hambre. 4, if you study hard, si te esfuerzas estudiando. When she watches a movie, cuando ella ve una película, and so on. So they are 16 different clauses, and I want you to match with the second column. All right, try to make them sense, right? No sense. I need sentences. For this activity, guys, you will have 7 minutes. Remember, I need your participation. That is actually the only way to participate with me, by working. Give me a minute. That's the link, guys. Click on the link, get the file, and start working, please. Click on the link and start working, guys. You have 7 minutes. 3 minutes, quickly, guys. Okay, guys, I think time is up. So before the started activity, please, guys, you must understand that this is the module number 4. So this means we are not going to let something such as colors, numbers. This is the model number 4. So that means the exercises will be a little bit difficult for you. This part, the zero conditional is about present simple, something that you study, I think, in the module number 1 and the module number 2. Module 1 and module number 3. I'm pretty sure about that, yes. So once again here in this module, in the number 4, in the zero conditional, we need to refresh or recall that information that we learned on the previous modules. Okay, so right now I'm going to show the answer and I want you to compare. So that is the answer, please. Compare yours. Okay, Ms. Marila Valle, please help me with the exercise number 2 and number 3, please. Read it.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Number 2 and number 3, Miss.
Yeah. When he stayed out very late,
Mhm.
He is very tired the next morning.
Okay, that's correct for me. Number 3, please.
People get hungry if they don't eat.
Okay, that's actually correct. That is the zero conditional. So remember, in the zero conditional, like first and second conditional, we have two clauses, two clauses, okay? For me, for me, these clauses I call action and consequence. So the action is the one who has the word if, and the other one is the consequence. That's correct. Okay, so let's continue. Miss Villamar Narcisa, please help me with the exercise number 4 and 5, please.
Is your study hard?
Mm-hmm.
You have grades in school. When she watches a movie, uh, she listens to hear podcast.
She likes to eat popcorn. That's correct. Thank you, miss. Let's continue. Almeida Laura, thank you, please. Exercises 6 and 7, please.
When I cross the street, I always look left and right.
Okay, that's good. Next one, please. 7.
Uh, I can do my homework
Mm-hmm.
if I don't have my glasses.
Okay, it makes sense for me. That's good. Okay, Javier Lavalle, thank you, please. Number 8 and number 9.
He always smiles when he is happy.
Okay, that's good. Next one, please.
If I miss the bus, I take a taxi to work.
Cool, thank you. Next one. Mr. Marcos, thank you, please. Number 10 and 11, please.
When you make logs a noise,
Mm-hmm.
the librarian gets angry.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Okay, thank you. Let's continue. Mr. Next one, number 11.
The detective swing.
Mm-hmm.
Y Mr. Se me cerró la pantalla, espérame.
Okay.
You add some sugar.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you. Miss Nicole Figueroa, please, let's continue. 12 and 13.
You should eat less
Mm-hmm.
if you want to lose hungry.
Okay. Next one, please. 13.
I always take my umbrella
Mm-hmm.
when it rains. ¿No me escuchó?
No? When?
When it rains.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, Miss Mosquera, please, the last ones, 14 and 16.
When I sang, I want a funny movie.
Mm-hmm.
La 15 es when her clicks take house. He listen to music.
Okay, it works for me. Okay, Mr. Carlos Jimenez, you will work with me in the next exercises, okay? Don't feel bad. Give a minute, please. Well, guys, so those exercises, okay, I mean, the both columns you work, they are exercises belongs to the zero conditional. So remember, the zero conditional talks about real facts or scientific fact or something that is always true. Well, the zero conditional, we use it when we think, when we are pretty sure about something, in that way always work. So in the zero conditional, so this means zero conditional is something true, 100 probability. Okay, not 100, let's put on here. Yeah, 100 probability. So that is the zero conditional where we think, we assume that that is true for me, true for a group of people, or true for the country. This is the zero conditional. Something true, 100 probability. All right, that is a 100 probability. Any question about the zero conditional, guys? No questions. Okay, so let's move on to the next conditional.
Y sí, cuando es en negativo se utiliza do y don't, ¿verdad? Lo mismo. Do, does.
Yes, sir. Remember, that is present simple. In the present simple, we have some rules. When we work with the verb to be, the verb to be in present, remember, is am, is, are. In the negative, I'm not, isn't, aren't. In the present simple, we also have the regular and irregular verb, such as go, visit, understand, climb, and so on. So for these kinds of verb, we need auxiliary verb. They are for negative, don't, doesn't. For question, do or does. So you are right. So we use do, does, don't, or doesn't for regular and irregular verb. But be careful with the verb to be. The verb to be is different. The verb to be doesn't need any auxiliary verb. Am, is, are in the negative, am not, isn't, aren't. Okay, so remember that the structure is the present simple. Okay, so now let's focus on first conditional. First conditional. Well, like the zero conditional, its structure is basically the same. First of all, let's learn about the use of the first conditional.
To the future.
Yes, miss, absolutely, you are right. Well, this is for me the easiest definition for the first conditional. To talk a real or very probable situation in the future. Okay, so the first conditional for me is 60%. Ah, come on, what am I doing? First conditional is 60%, okay? 60%. Remember, zero conditional is 100%. 100 because we are pretty sure about that. But the first conditional, no. First conditional is 60% that something will happen in the future. It's not sure. 60%. So this is the use. To talk a real or very probable situation in the future. Okay? So real or probable situation in the future. For a better understanding about the structure, it's quite important to learn about this. Give me a minute. So let's talk about something cool. Superstitions. Let's talk about this. Superstition. Do you believe in superstition, guys?
I don't believe in that.
You don't believe in superstitions. Okay. Pretty interesting. Remember, the last week we practiced about the first conditional. We used the superstition to understand the structure. Okay, so today, once again, I'm going to refresh your mind about the first conditional. And that's way to understand is use the superstition. First conditional are actually action and consequences. Look. First conditional, actions and consequences. For the better understanding, as I said, we're going to use the superstitions, Ecuadorian superstition, then we can check from another countries. Well, probably some of you are pretty young to understand about the superstition, but those who were born probably in the 80s or 90s, you understand what we're talking about. Now, the structure of the first conditional, look at this. Once again, we have two different clauses. First conditional, again, two different clauses, right? Clause number one, if. Remember, both clauses, yes, exactly, both are separated by the symbol comma. In this clause, the one which have the word if, present simple, right? I repeat, the clause with the word if, this one, the conditional clause, is with the present simple tense. The second one,
will.
Exactly, sir. Future, that's it. In other words, the modals will or won't.
If you see a black cat, then you will die.
Exactly. That's absolutely. But you told me you don't believe in superstition.
Is an example.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so guys, please, I want you to focus on the clause of the first conditional. You see the difference from the zero conditional. The zero conditional, both clauses are in present simple. Okay, both clauses present simple. But the first conditional, clause number one, or the conditional clause, present simple. The second one is future, simple future. So that means we're going to use will or want. Okay, first conditional is this, action and consequences. Action and consequences. The action is the present simple. The consequence is future. Okay, I'm going to write down the action. Let's talk about superstition. For example, okay. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, guys, so this is a superstition. As I said, most of you are teenagers, some very young men, very young women, but those who were born in the 80s or 90s, you understand these superstitions. What is the consequence of this superstition? Any ideas about this superstition? What's the consequence?
Behind a door.
If you put the broom upside down behind the door, this is the action. What is the consequence for this action?
I don't know, mister.
Will knock arriba.
Interested. So that's mean.
Won't arriba.
Oh, okay. You're not complete right? You're not completely right. The superstition is a bit different from you saying, come on, guys, you never heard about this superstition? If you put the broom upside down, si coloca una escoba al revés detrás de una puerta, what is about that superstition? What's the consequence?
The visit red.
Exactly, okay. That's correct. Well, this is the structure of the first conditional. You see? This is the symbol. This part over here, this is present simple. You see? Present simple. If you put is a verb in present simple. Then we have future. We live. If you put a broom upside down behind the door, the guest will live. Wow. This is a good one, right? Good superstition. Well, let's carry out another one. Let's see if you know this superstition. What's the consequence? If you open an umbrella indoors,
A quick back look.
okay, interested. Another idea about this superstition?
Someone that will die.
Exactly. Well, the second one is actually the definition I learned from my parents, learned from my grandparents too. If you open an umbrella indoors, someone will die. You see the structure. I want you to focus on the structure, the first conditional. Look, opened is present simple. Will die is future. Si abres un paraguas dentro de la casa, alguien morirá. That is the superstition. Recuerden, no estamos aquí estudiando supersticiones, chicos. Estamos utilizando supersticiones para entender la estructura del primer condicional. ¿Ok? Como usted ve, tenemos las dos cláusulas separadas por el símbolo gramatical coma. La cláusula condicional es aquella que tiene la palabra if. En esa cláusula trabajamos con present simple. La otra cláusula la vamos a trabajar con futuro simple, will o won't. Entonces, una cláusula, la if, es la acción. La que tiene el futuro es la consecuencia de esa acción. If you open an umbrella indoors, someone will die. Another one. If okay, anyone who knows these superstitions?
It's the same because some will die.
Okay, it's almost the same. But the way I learned this superstition, the consequence is different from the previous one. Because in the second sentence, if you open an umbrella indoor, someone will die. Butterfly indoors. This is a bit different, right? Just a little bit different. Future and present simple. You see? If you just see a black butterfly indoors, a member of your family will die. That's for sure. Unbelievable. And the last one. What about this one? What's the consequence of this superstition?
They will die.
Exactly. Or you say, okay, so guys, this is the point of this activity. To try to understand the form, la forma, la estructura del primer condicional, the structure of the first conditional. You see? These words over here, put, opened, see, once again, put, present simple. The other clause, will live and then will die, is future simple. Use the modal will for positive or want for negative. Let's practice. Give me a minute. This is going to be the activity number 1 about the first conditional. All right? So, guys, focus on the structure. Remember, la estructura son dos cláusulas, 2 different clauses. In the present simple, we have the conditional clause. It's this one. And it works with the present simple. The other one is the main clause, and it works with simple future, will for positive or want for negative. So in these exercises, as you can see, we have one of those clauses, only one. So you have to complete either conditional or main clause. Focus on the first one. We don't arrive at time. If this is the conditional clause, so that means we need to complete the main clause. En la primera ya tenemos la cláusula condicional, ¿verdad? Quiere decir que nos falta la cláusula de resultado. Y la de resultado en el primer condicional trabajamos con will o want. En la segunda, como vemos, ya tenemos la cláusula de resultado o cláusula principal. Ya está el will, que nos indica que necesitamos la cláusula condicional, que es aquella que tiene la palabra if. Acciones y consecuencias. If we don't arrive at time, si no llegamos a tiempo. If we don't arrive at time, our teacher will be angry. You see? Present simple, future simple. In the sentence number 2, I will watch TV if I have time. Future simple, present simple. Veré televisión si tengo tiempo. I will watch TV if I have time. So you keep working. Remember, guys, I want you to complete. The number 3 is the conditional. So you need the consequence. La 3 ya está la condicional, ya está la acción. Quiere decir que necesita la cláusula de consecuencia para esa acción. La cláusula de consecuencia es con el will. If he gets out at 5 o'clock, si él se despierta o se levanta a las 5, what is the consequence? So you write. In the number 4, we have the consequence, so we need the conditional clause. All right, so for this activity, guys, you will have once again 7 minutes. Give me a minute. I'm gonna share the link. Okay, guys, so that is the link. Get the link and start working. You have 7 minutes. Remember, this is the first conditional. Primer condicional, first conditional, present simple and future simple. 7 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay, guys, I think it's time to start. Miss Narcisa Villamar, please. Exercise number 3, please.
Is he gets up at 5 o'clock. He will be on time for work.
Okay. Well, that's correct. It makes sense for me. Thank you. Next one, Miss Adrian Castro, please. Number 4.
We will be hungry if we don't eat.
That's correct. Let's continue. Miss Glenda Vera, number 5, please.
It's the phone rings if I was not and where's it?
Okay, well, I didn't understand, but if the phone rings, I will answer it. I think you say that, right? If the phone rings, I will answer it. Well, let's continue. Miss Laura Almeida, number 6, please.
I will laugh if
Mm-hmm.
you tell me a funny story.
Okay, that's correct. Or I would laugh if you tell me a joke. Well, that's correct. 7, Carla Fajardo, thank you.
If our exam isn't tomorrow, it will be the next Monday.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Number 8. Rugel Figueroa, please. Number 8.
The one buy a network. They don't save any money.
Okay. Interesting. That's right. Okay, come on, guys. More volunteers. Miss Sandy Herrera, please. Number 9.
If you hit me, I will angry and cry.
Oh, that's right. And the last one. Okay, let's practice the last one. Another volunteer for the number 10.
I will give you $10 if you clean my car.
Okay. Wow, interested. Thank you, sir. Cool. Give a minute. Okay, so let's practice the first conditional once again, the form. I want you to look at this example. We have two different columns. The purple is for the present simple, study. The orange color, will pass, is for simple future. This is the structure of the first conditional. Action and consequences. What's the action? If I study. What's the consequence? I will pass my exam. As you can see, we have the two different clauses. They are separated by the symbol, comma. We can also work vice versa. I mean, we can start with the consequence clause and then the conditional clause. When we work in this way, the symbol comma is not included. I repeat, when we work in this way, clause number one is the consequent clause. The symbol comma is not included, as you see in the example. Study, as you see, the purple one, is the present simple tense. Future. You see? In the first example, the symbol comma is included because the conditional clause starts the sentence. But in the second example, the consequence clause starts the sentence, so the comma is not included. Here we have another concept, the use of the first conditional, to talk about possible situations and their consequences in the future. When we say possible situation, where that means it's not for sure that that will happen in the future. First conditional is 50% of probability. 50% of probability. First conditional. Remember, zero conditional, zero, conditional zero, zero conditional, 100 of probability, 100. First conditional is 50% of probability. Now, take a look. Positive, negative, and also interrogative form of the first conditional. In the same way, now focus on the second example, positive, negative, and interrogative. As you can see in the second example, we work with the third person. Estamos trabajando con terceras personas. The subject is he. Don't forget, when we work with the third person, we need to apply the rules. The third person spelling rules. Third person spelling rules. He studies. So if it is positive, we add the suffix ies. In the negative, the auxiliary is doesn't. You see, if he doesn't study. So this is the form of the first conditional. Please, guys, any question? Let's carry out more activities. Give me a minute. This is a new worksheet to practice the first conditional. Now, guys, I want you to focus on the picture, the image. We have a message. I want you to read the message, please. If you never tried, you'll never know. This is the first conditional form. Si nunca lo intentas, nunca lo sabrás. First conditional. If you never try, you will, or the contraction, you'll never know. Well, as I said, the first conditional means 50% of probability. 50% of probability, that's it. Okay, so let's carry out the first activity. In the first activity, you're going to complete the concept of the form of the first conditional. We use first conditional to talk about a possible situation in the future. The structure of the first conditional is, so you complete this one. Remember, we don't use, recuerda que no utilizamos, remember, we don't use, then you complete after it. We can also use when instead of it. You're gonna complete this activity, the review part. Then when you finish, you go to the practice, the exercise number 2. In the practice number 2, the practice number 1, as you can see, we have 10 exercises. So complete by using the structure of the first conditional. Right? Let me stop here. I'm gonna share the file. Give me a minute. That is the link, guys. Click on the link and get the file, please. Remember, 2 activities. Activity number 1, complete this box, okay? This chart. Complete it. 1, 2, and 3. When you finish this one, you go to the second one. Use the first conditional form to complete these exercises. You will have 6 minutes. 1 minute. Okay, let's get this started. Let's complete this concept in the box. Grammar review first, conditional. Ms. Romero, thank you. Can you read and complete this chart for me?
Oh.
Yes, all of this. 1, 2, and 3, please. We use
the first conditional to tell about a possible situation in the future. The structure of the first conditional is if more 1, comma 2. If you call me before 1 p.m., I will answer. I can come if you invite me.
Okay, that's correct, but you need to complete the number 1 and the number 2. There is another volunteer who can help me to complete number 1 and number 2. Okay, mister.
Present simple.
And the number 2?
Will.
Simple future, that's correct.
Simple future.
So in this part, the number 1 is present simple or simple future. If plus present simple, simple future. Okay, the last part, remember. And the number 3, who can help me with the number 3? Remember?
La, comma.
Will.
Yes, we don't use will. That's perfect, Miss Laura. That's correct. Recuerda que no utilizamos will después de if. En esa cláusula, if, no utilizamos will. Ahí utilizamos present simple, no will. So it says, remember, we don't use will after is. That's correct. So let's move on to the exercises. Please volunteer for the exercise number 1 and number 2, please. Thank you, Miss.
If you don't slow down, you will have an accident.
Number 2?
If I fail my exams, I will be very unhappy. One.
Okay, that's correct, mister. Okay, let me see it. Miss Marila Valle, thank you. Number 3 and number 4, please. Miss Marila Valle, please, number 3 and 4.
Okay. We can for agree if I will finish my work on time.
Number 4.
If it's now tomorrow, I will wear a hat.
Okay, thank you. Well, in the number 3 there was a mistake. En la 3 hubo un error. Recuerde que después de if no podemos trabajar con will. Aquí la cláusula está invertida, nada más. En vez de will, han trabajado con el modal can. Es muy inusual, pero sí se puede trabajar con can. Este es una especie como de truco, ¿ok? Es un ejercicio con truco, o sea, para que le llame la atención. Como usted no ve will, piensa que will va a ir en esa cláusula y ahí no va will. Recuerde que will no puede ir en la cláusula que contiene la palabra if. En la 3 simplemente es if I finish. No, I will finish. I will finish, that's incorrect. And the number 4 was correct, miss. Thank you. Miss Carla Fajardo, please. Number 5 and 6.
If you speak English every day, you will learn quicker.
6.
6. Your dinner don't get cold if you eat it now.
Okay. Can you repeat the number 6 again, miss? Please repeat the 6.
Your dinner won't get cold if you eat it now.
Okay, that's correct. That is negative in future. Very good. Okay, Miss Jose Jody, please. Number 7 and 8.
7. I will be on holiday. You visit my next week.
Okay, number 8.
If you go outside, we go as weather, you will get ill.
Perfect. Okay, the last volunteer, it'll be Espinosa Jocelyn. Number 9 and 10, please.
If you don't help me, I won't be able to finish my work.
Okay, good. 10.
If you drink too much coffee, you don't be able to sleep.
Okay, can you repeat the number 10 again, please?
If you drink too much coffee, you don't be able to sleep.
Okay. Recuerda que la 10 ya tenemos la cláusula condicional que es if. Entonces la otra tiene que trabajar con futuro. No puede trabajar con don't. Don't es el auxiliar para present simple. ¿Cómo sería entonces la 10?
Want.
Exactly. Es you won't. Es futuro, okay? En negativo. You won't be able to sleep. That's correct. Good. Let me stop this. Please give me a minute. Well, in this activity, guys, we're going to practice once again the first conditional. Remember, first conditional does mean 60% of probability. Primer condicional es un condicional para dar probabilidad, tal vez de un 50-60%, porque este condicional trabaja con las acciones. Si yo estudio, aprobaré. Entonces es un condicional porque está diciendo, si yo estudio, aprobaré inglés. Entonces es un condicional de probabilidad del 50-60% que depende de la cláusula de acción, como ustedes han visto en los ejercicios. So, in this activity, once again, we're going to see the structure with 50 or 60% of probability. Algo más, por favor, antes que me olvide. Recuerde que el condicional 0, ese es un condicional del 100%. Quiere decir que eso va a pasar. La cláusula de la acción y de la consecuencia es del 100%, porque es algo que se basa, recuerde, en hechos científicos o hechos reales. Y también algo que es verdadero para nosotros, para la otra persona, para un grupo. Por ejemplo, disculpe que me aparte del tema, pero que quiero que quede claro. Condicional 0, 100% de probabilidad. Si tú calientas agua, hierve. Esta es una probabilidad del 100%. Si mezclas estos colores, si mezclas rojo y amarillo, ¿qué color obtienes? Pues este nuevo color. Entonces, eso es una condición o una probabilidad del 100%. Pero no siempre va a ser hechos reales o hechos científicos. Puede ser una verdad solo nuestra, como les expliqué la semana pasada. Por ejemplo, una verdad para mí es que si yo no tomo café por las mañanas, me duele la cabeza durante el día. Esa es una verdad solo mía. Puede ser que para algunos de ustedes también lo sea, para otros no. O como el otro que también dije, si tomamos café por las noches, no dormimos bien. Entonces, eso es una probabilidad del 100%, pero para algunas personas, para otras no. Otras personas tendrán otro tipo de condición que es 100%. Entonces, eso es lo que se basa condicional 0, 100% de probabilidad. Este condicional, el 1 que estamos viendo, es un 50% de probabilidad. 50% o 60% of probability. ¿Ok? Question? ¿Tienen preguntas?
Yo.
Sí, dígame. Sí, dígame, no hay problema. Cuéntame.
El will vendría a ser como el 50% de probabilidad, ¿verdad? Al aumentar el will, como quien dice, si yo digo,
recuerda que tiene que empezar sí. Recuerda que son condiciones. Claro.
Entonces,
yo leo.
Yo leo, ¿verdad? Entonces, ahí vamos a, como quien dice, yo aprenderé.
Exacto.
Entonces, ahí ya estamos dando como quien dice, el 50%, ¿verdad?
Exactamente, pero recuerda que al inicio tú mismo te condicionas.
Ya.
Tú estás diciendo, sí, yo leo, pero ¿y si no lo haces?
Entonces ya.
Es una condición, por eso es el primer condicional, este que estamos viendo, es una probabilidad del 50%, de acuerdo a la acción. Recuerda que estos condicionales empiezan con if, que es sí. El único que puede variar es el condicional 0. Condicional 0 cuando es algo científico empieza o puede variar con cuando, que es when. El condicional 0 puede trabajar con when o con if. Condicional 0 trabaja con when, que significa cuando, porque es algo verdadero. Cuando mezclas rojo y amarillo, obtienes el color anaranjado. Entonces, no hay condición. Trabajas con when, cuando. O también puedes trabajar con if. Pero este primer condicional no trabaja con when, porque es un condicional de probabilidad. En este caso es el 50%. Recuerda que condicionamos. Empezamos con la palabra sí. Si yo leo, aprenderé. Pero tú te condicionas. Sí. Me estás diciendo, bueno, no sé, si es que yo leo. Si yo estudio, aprobaré. Es como como lo que hemos venido practicando en los ejercicios. Este condicional, el 1, va a empezar con if. Esta cláusula se la denomina, no gramaticalmente, se la denomina cláusula de acción. La cláusula de acción es la que tiene la palabra if, que es la condición. Si. Y la otra cláusula es la consecuencia, si es positiva o es negativa. Okay, guys, so this is the last activity. Then we have the break. Let me explain this. Come on. Okay, so look at this. If you go to London, this is the conditional. Si vas a Londres. Si vas a Londres, okay? If you go to London, you will see, this is the consequence for future. You will see the Big Ben. Verás al reloj Big Ben. The Big Benjamin. Ese es el reloj que está en Londres. Y la condición es si es. Si vas a Londres, si es. Okay, it's a condition. If you go to London, you will see the Big Ben. Look this one. If you go to Rome, it's a condition. Si vas a Roma. If you go to Rome, you will see the Colosseum. This is a consequence. If you go to Berlin, si vas a Berlín, you will see the Bamberg Gate. Well, I can't pronounce this one because I think this is no English. It's pretty different from English. I don't know if it's a good pronounce, but this is the consequence clause with future. Now, if you go to Paris, you will see the Eiffel Tower. So all of this is consequences. Ms. Jocelyn Espinosa, you have a question?
No, miss.
Mister.
Yes, tell me. Oh, yes, it's just Mr. Next one. If you go to Madrid,
you will see the Messi no.
You will see the Gala Gate. Or if you have your own Santos, no problem, right? If you go to Spain, you will see, I don't know, something that you know, algo que usted conozca, verás. Pero este condicional, como está viendo, empezamos con if. Es una condición que si se cumple esa condición, pues tiene esa consecuencia. Okay, guys, so it's almost 10 o'clock. Now it's break time. You have 15 minutes. Quarter after 10, we coming back. Break time.
Thank you, Mister.
Mister, le escribí por interno.
Okay, miss, I'm going to check.
Where are you, Erika?
Hi, Marcos.
Tell me, where are you? ¿Dónde estás?
En el hospital.
¿A quién hable?
Sí, vino a hacerme esa prueba.
Mm,
Tengo que hacerme esa prueba y tengo que ir al colegio, ir a arreglar todo eso. Quién sabe a qué hora termino hoy día.
mañana te toca estar en mesa.
Sí, mesa no, me toca coordinar 4 juntas. Tengo que estar coordinando.
Pues, ahí hay mucho dinero de promedio.
Ay, fuera bueno.
A lot of money.
Fuera bueno. Primero había, ya no. Entonces no se apuran, oye, supuestamente comenzaban desde las 8 y llego, son las 10 y recién están llamando para lo de las pruebas.
See you later, Erika. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, it's time to continue. Okay, guys, so now we're going to practice second conditional. Remember, guys, in this module, in the unit number 6 is included 0, first, and second conditional. In English, we had 5 different structure of the conditional: 0, first, second, third, and mixed conditional. But in this module, in the number 4, we're going to study 3 of them: 0, first, and second. So it's time to practice the second conditional. Well, for me, the second conditional, I also call it unreal conditional. This is an unreal conditional. Second conditional equal unreal conditional. Why? Because this 0% of probability. Okay, let's be generous. 10 or 0% of probability. Okay, so don't forget, 0 conditional, 100 of probability. First conditional, 60% of probability. And second conditional, well, 10 or 0% of probability. And you will see why. Use. Okay, guys, so this is the use of the second conditional. Listen, please. To talk about imaginary situation in the present or future. So be careful, please. Even though we see the word future, we don't work with will or want. That's different. You see, present, or future. Double check to this one. Imaginary situation. Imaginary, so this means something that, well, we have no sure if that will happen in the future. So that is the reason the second conditional is 10 or 0% of probability. So we used to talk about this, and you say, teacher, why we need to learn a second conditional or a conditional to talk about imaginary situation? Is 0 probability. I don't want to talk about that. I don't need to learn that. But let me tell you, this is very important because we can say our desires, our wishes, our expectation for future. We use the second conditional for this. Let me write. The second conditional is for basically for this. First, expectation. Number 2, wishes. And the number 3, and not for the number 3 is a bit important, desires. So be careful with this word. Don't misunderstand. So the second conditional we also use for our expectations, wishes, or desire. What is expectation for you guys? What do you understand with the word expectation?
Expectativa.
Yes, that is something that you expect in the future or something that we expect in the present, but it's not for sure. It's just an expectation. Number 2, wishes. Any idea about this word? Come on Christmas time, cuando es época de Navidad, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. So what is wish?
Desea una buena Navidad. Deseo.
Yes, exactly. But the word wish is como deseo, right? Wish, your wish come true. Very good. And the number 3, desire. Any idea about this word? Desire?
No es lo mismo. No es lo mismo.
Deseo, yes, but be careful, don't misunderstand, right? No malinterprete la última palabra. Desire, that's correct. Desire. It's okay, yes, as you said, probably there are synonyms, okay? Wishes and desire. But we use expectation, wishes, and desire in the second conditional. But remember, the second conditional is a real conditional. 10% or 0% of probability. They use imaginary situation in the present or future, so we are not sure about it. Take a look. The 4. Well, basically, as you know, guys, like the 0 or the first conditional, the second one is actually the same. 2 different clauses. Clause number 1 and clause number 2. 2 clauses separated by the same symbol, comma. This is the form of the second conditional, the same. You see, this conditional is called conditional clause. This is the main clause. Cláusula condicional y cláusula principal. Recuerda que la cláusula condicional, aquella que tiene la palabra if. Yo a los condicionales les suelo llamar a todos ellos esta cláusula, la cláusula de acción, y esta, la cláusula de la consecuencia. Okay. No es conocida así gramaticalmente, yo la llamo así para entenderla mejor. Gramaticalmente se la conoce esta como cláusula condicional y cláusula principal. For me is conditional clause. This is, for me is action clause, action, because this is an action. If is an action clause, and this is the consequence. Well, so in the second conditional, we use two different tenses. And I'm sorry, one tense and one modal, a new one. In the conditional clause, we use this, the past simple tense. And the other clause, the modal, would, could, I'm sorry, and might. Three different modals. Tres modales diferentes. Okay? Would, could, or might. This is the structure of the second conditional. Remember, past simple tense in this clause, past simple. In the past simple tense, we need to understand that the past simple tense, we're going to use the auxiliary did for questions or didn't for negative. And the main clause, three different models: would, could, or might. Well, why do we call second conditional and real conditional? Ten or 0% of probability. We call it this way because it's just for situation that probably will not happen in the future. It's expectations, you see this word, para una expectativa, en presente o en futuro. Wishes, para un deseo. Desire, es un deseo más profundo. Desire es algo personal, presente o futuro. So, for me, it's a real conditional. 10% or 0% of probability. For example, you see, this is my expectation. Esta es una expectativa de algunos de nosotros o de la gran mayoría. Un deseo. If I have $1 million, si tuviera $1 millón de dólares, ¿cuál es la realidad? No lo tenemos. Por eso se dice que es del 10 al 0%. 10% o 0%. Estoy diciendo que no podremos tener algún día, sí. But in this moment, no. If I have $1 million, so this is past simple. You see? Past simple. Pasado simple. Had is the past of have. Have present, had is the past. If I have $1 million. This one. It's probably an expectation. You see, it's the past of the verb to be. It's an expectation. If I were in Montañita now, can you imagine that? Si estuviera en Montañita ahora. Oh, okay, but don't go. Pandemic. Stay home. Stay safe. It's an example. Esto es un ejemplo nada más. Quédese en casa. If I were in Montañita now, si estuviera en Montañita ahora. Pero no lo estás, estás acá. So it's an expectation. Esto es la estructura del segundo condicional. If I were in Montañita now. Another one. It's past simple. Didn't have. If I didn't have to work, si no tuviera que trabajar. Well, we have to work in order to get money, but this is actually a desire or a wish, expectation for present or future if we didn't have to work. Last one. So once again, we have the verb to be. If I were you. You see, este es el verbo to be en pasado. Esa es la estructura del segundo condicional. I'm sorry, something is missing. You see? If I were you. Si yo fuera tú. If I were you. Pero no lo soy. This is the second conditional. Is unreal. Es un condicional irreal. Unreal conditional. 10% or 0% of probability. You see? Esta es una parte, es una cláusula. ¿Ok? Nos falta la otra cláusula, la cláusula de la consecuencia o la cláusula principal. If I have $1 million, si tuviera $1 millón, caramba, ¿qué haría? Well, if I have $1 million, you see? If I have $1 million, I would buy the house in Salinas. That would be spectacular. But I don't have $1 million to buy the house in Salinas. So this is a wish or is a desire, but I use the second conditional. Esto es un condicional irreal. No tengo el $1 millón, por lo tanto no tengo una casa en Salinas, pero puedo desear, ¿verdad? If I have $1 million, I would buy a house in Salinas. Remember the modal would, and then we have the verb in present. Un verbo en presente. Buy, comprar. Si antepongo este modal, lo hago una especie de condición. Compraría. Buy, comprar. Would buy, compraría. If I have $1 million, I would buy the house in Salinas. Number 2. If I were in Montañita now, si estuviera en Montañita ahora, ¿qué podría estar haciendo?
I would drink a beer.
Okay, yes. You see, this is the second example. Los modales en el segundo condicional pueden ser 3. Would, could, or might. Commonly is this one. Comúnmente son could y would, siendo would el más utilizado en el segundo condicional. If I were in Montañita now, si estuviera en Montañita ahora, podría estar bebiendo cerveza. Okay. If I were in Montañita now, I could be drinking beer. Number 3. If I didn't have to work, si no tuviera que trabajar. That's interesting.
I would go vacation.
Okay, but okay, structurally is correct. Estructuralmente está bien. Si no tuviera que trabajar, estaría en vacaciones, como que no, ¿verdad? Pero estructuralmente está bien. If I didn't have to work, I would be on vacation. But if I didn't have to work, I don't know. If I didn't have to work, I would be on my bed all day long. Or like you said, well, I would be on vacation. Estaría de vacaciones, okay? If I didn't have to work, I would be on vacation. Well, last one. This structure, la última estructura utilizamos segundo condicional también para dar consejos. Si yo fuera tú, if I were you. If I were you, you see? If I were you, I would study English for the test.
Podría hacer una preguntita, ¿no?
Yes, go.
Porque, o sea, yo sé, ¿no? La mayoría describe were, pero ¿por qué cuando a nosotros nos enseñaron, verdad? Los otros, yo parece que en el pasado era was, were, y yo, él y ella llevaba was. Entonces yo quisiera que me explique por qué ahí lleva were.
Yeah, that's correct. Yo iba a llegar a eso, that's correct. Ok, todavía no he llegado a eso porque hay mucha información. Sé que la mayoría de estudiantes todavía están un poco confundidos aquí. But that's correct. It's a very good observation. Well, so give me a minute. I will explain that. No problem. Okay, guys. So over here we have the four different sentences about the second conditional. So don't forget. En esta cláusula, la condicional, recuerde, es past simple. Past simple. Los verbos en pasado. Regular, irregular verbs, or the verb to be. You see, had is past. Were is past. Didn't have is past. Were is past. And then, the second clause, we have three options. Would, could, or might. You see, would, could, and would. Siendo would la más utilizada. Si tuviera $1 millón, compraría una casa en Salinas. Si estuviera en Montañita, podría estar bebiendo cerveza. Si no tuviera que trabajar, estaría en mi cama todo el día. Si yo fuera tú, estudiaría inglés para el examen. So this is the second conditional. Okay, this is the structure, and don't forget the use. Double check. Observar bien esto, okay? Double check on this. 10 or 0% in the present or future. Basically, is for our expectation, wishes, or desire. Well, that is actually good questions. Está bien, como sabemos, hemos estudiado en los módulos anteriores, creo que esto se vio en el primer módulo, yes, en el módulo número 1, nos enseñan que el pasado del verbo to be tiene dos opciones, ¿verdad? Que son was and were. Y trabajamos de la siguiente forma. I was, you, we, they, were. All right? Look at this. Wait a minute. Okay. Good. And for the third person, okay, esto es correcto. Esta es la forma correcta de conjugar el verbo to be en pasado. That's correct. I was, you, we, they, were. And for the third person, he, she, it, was. That's absolutely right. Pero, en las estructuras del segundo condicional, okay, gramaticalmente, en la forma gramatical, no podemos utilizar was, a pesar que aquí está el pronombre yo, como usted lo observa. Debería ser así. If I was you, si yo fuera tú. Gramaticalmente, aplicándolo al verbo to be, en conjugación, cuando se lo conjuga, is I was. Pero en la estructura del segundo condicional, trabajamos de forma diferente. Were. If I were. Inclusive, en las terceras personas también se lo aplica. Look at this. Oh, come on. There we go. If she were my girlfriend, si ella fuera mi enamorada, if she were my girlfriend, I would be very happy. Esta es básicamente por las reglas gramaticales del segundo condicional, chicos. You'd be, I'm sorry, very happy. Si usted conjuga el verbo to be de forma normal, es así. I was, you were, or she, he, it was. But in the second conditional, we use this, where. If I were you, or if she were my girlfriend, that's the way. Ahora, en inglés normal, por decirlo, hablarlo, yo he tenido la oportunidad de escuchar a extranjeros, cuando estaba allá, utilizar was. Ellos utilizan if she was my girlfriend, pero gramaticalmente no está bien. Siendo nativos no utilizan la gramática. Nos suele pasar inclusive a nosotros en nuestro propio idioma. A veces las reglas gramaticales pues las pasamos por alto. Lo mismo sucede aquí. El verbo to be en el segundo condicional va a trabajar where, in this way, where. The second conditional, solo en el segundo condicional. Si usted trabaja fuera del segundo condicional, conjuga así. All right? Well, so these are the structure, or is the structure basically, of the second conditional. Remember, past simple tense and the three modals, would, could, and might. Let me stop this. Give you a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Second conditional, unreal fact, wishes, expectations. Remember, the probability of this conditional 10 or 0% of probability. Look this example. Look the picture number 1. Is a man, very chubby, and he's eating pizza, beer, salad, fast food. Bad decision. Look the picture number 1, the man. What could be a good piece of advice? ¿Cuál sería un buen consejo para él? Look the example, the next picture. If I were you, si yo fuera tú, if I were you, I would eat healthy food such as fruits, vegetables, and nuts. And now look the picture. The man is eating pizza and beer and drink beer. Wow, so this is a piece of advice. This is second conditional. Isn't real because we are not that person. No somos esa persona, but we can use the second conditional for giving pieces of advice. If I were you. Look the picture number 1. Can you imagine that? The man is imagining that he has a lot of money in his office. $1 million, you see? Now, look the other part. This is the second conditional. If I have money, I wouldn't work anymore in my life. Yes, absolutely. Si tuviera dinero, no trabajaría. Okay, no trabajaría más en mi vida. If I have money, I wouldn't work anymore in my life. Well, but this is not true. Esto no es verdad. It's unreal. Is a wish, is a desire, is my expectation for present or future. Now, for the men, para los chicos, look at that picture. Is she beautiful? She's beautiful, isn't she? But she's not your girlfriend. She is not your girlfriend. But she's beautiful. So we can use the second conditional. If she were my girlfriend, you say, but she's not my girlfriend. But if she were my girlfriend, I would be happy. Si ella fuera mi enamorada, sería feliz. Pero no es la realidad. It's an expectation, wish, desire. Let's continue. Now, for the girls, I don't know if you like Justin Bieber. Now, take a look. If Justin Bieber came to Barranquilla, I would go to his concert. Because here in Ecuador, I don't think so, impossible.
I will go.
Oh, really? You will go? Okay.
I will never, ever be a part.
Okay. Okay, but this is, remember, this is not real.
It's a joke.
Okay, I understand, no problem, sir. But remember, this is not real. Este segundo condicional no es real, es una expectativa nada más. Si Justin Bieber viniera a Barranquilla, que es comúnmente Colombia donde más vienen, iría a su concierto. I would go to his concert, but we're not sure about that. No estamos seguros. Tal vez nunca suceda. Next one. Look, this is the second conditional structure. As you know, two different clauses. If, simple past, the verb in simple past, and then the modal would. This is one option, but you know, would, could, or might. This is an example. If I had money, si tuviera dinero. If I had money, I would travel around the world. Viajaría alrededor del mundo. Is an expectation. If she told me lies, I will ground her. This is a father. This is from a father to his daughter. Okay? Esto es de un padre a una hija. Si ella me miente o me dice mentiras, okay? Si ella me miente, la castigaría. Ground her. Castigar. From a parent to his daughter. Okay, question please. No questions? Okay, so let's practice. Give a minute.
I have a question.
Okay, tell me.
And Justin Bieber, why only come to Colombia?
Okay, so yeah, this mostly of the singer group or bands, they usually go to Colombia because they say here in Ecuador it's pretty expensive. I mean the taxes, especially here in Guayaquil. Some artist singer, they don't want to come here in Ecuador, especially here in Guayaquil. Taxes means los impuestos. The taxes are very high, very high. So they don't want to come here. So that is the reason that some of the most famous band, famous group, they usually go to Colombia. So they concert Colombia, Brazil. So people who love those that kind of music, that they go there, Colombia. For example, I clearly remember, let me think, I think 16 or 17 years ago, I traveled to Colombia to see John Bon Jovi concert. John Bon Jovi, it was actually a well-known group in the 90s. You didn't even, well, your parents didn't even expect for your birth. Eso es de los 90. Todos ustedes ni conozcan a John Bon Jovi, mayoría muy jóvenes. ¿Okay? No estaban ni siquiera en planes, creo, cuando yo fui a Colombia.
En serio, ¿y qué canciones les gusta? Always.
All of them. Always, when my guitar bleeds, Diamond Rains. There are a lot of them.
Thank you for loving me.
Exactly. Yes, that's correct. But all that happened in the 90s. I think it was in 1997, 1997, if I remember. I went to Colombia to see John Bon Jovi because here in Ecuador, he came here in Ecuador, but you know, it was in Quito, and I was 16, 17 years old. I was pretty young. So I went to Colombia to see my favorite singer, and my favorite band, sorry, in this case was John Bon Jovi. So that is the reason. Los impuestos aquí en Ecuador, muy caros para los artistas, por eso es que no vienen. Prefieren ir a Colombia.
Aquí en Doble lo mismo, los circos, los juegos, los Playland Park, todo eso es muy caro.
Pues prácticamente, sí. Lo peor es que a veces, como estamos dolarizados, tal vez, mucho peor para los artistas o bandas o cantantes que vengan aquí, salen muy caros. Prefieren ir a otros países. Entonces, los que estamos cerca de esos países, pues podemos ir allá. Y ni aún así creo que sale más barato que cuando ellos se presentan aquí. Okay, guys, so let's
Mister, buenos días. Hola. Hola. Mister.
Se fue la luz en DAO, le dijo, y por eso no están, creo. No sé qué.
Por eso que se desconectaron algunos participantes, incluyéndome. Yo ahorita estoy con los datos móviles, pero no me dura mucho.
Sí, eso dijo él, que esperaran, dijo.
47,90.
¿Se fue la energía, compañero?
Sí. Sí, pero aún sigue grabando.
¿Y quién está de hospedador?
El Mister
No lo sé, pero sale que está grabando.
Carla Fajardo sale como anfitrión.
Mi amiga.
¿Qué pasa conmigo,
amiga Carla.
chicos?
¿Usted está grabando, compañera?
Amiga, tiene mensaje hospedador.
¿Qué hacemos? ¿Nos desconectamos?
Que el Mister también es de Daule.
No sé, pero no está el mister aquí.
Yo soy de Santa Lucía, pero acá se me fue el internet.
También, pero acá todavía hay internet.
Esperémosle un ratito al teacher a ver si se conecta.
Claro, compañero, unos 15 minutos, media hora, ya si no se conecta ya. Nos conectamos ya. Digo yo, pues yo.
Sí, porque falta para culminar la clase 59 minutos. De 45 solo vemos 23. $21 ahora.
Yo estoy con los datos, ya mismo se me acaban.
¿Qué hacemos? ¿Salimos todos de Zoom?
Por el momento no ha enviado ningún deber el teacher, ¿no?
No, solo ha enviado esos talleres que hagamos aquí en clase, pero no envió tarea.
Tareas no he enviado.
Tarea no.
No, solo lo que hemos hecho en clase.
Chicos, ya le voy a preguntar porque está en línea.
Ay, pregúntele,
¿Qué
compañera.
le pasó?
Ya le voy a preguntar, ya le voy a preguntar.
Pregúntale y avisa, amiga.
Ya, ok, listo, en eso estoy. Compañeros. Hola.
Hola.
Hola, compañero.
Hola.
Ya el mister me dice que ya nos podemos desconectar nomás.
Ah, ya, gracias.
Ah, ya. Gracias.
compañera.
Sí, ya desconéctense nomás, chicos, no hay ningún problema.
Bye. Hasta la próxima semana.
Gracias.
Ya, ok, listo,
entonces.
ya.